Good morning, students. In the previous class, we completed the first unit. In this class, we are going to discuss about the second unit. That's the performance of short and medium length transmission lines. Okay. In this unit, overall discussion points are: first one is the introduction to transmission lines, classification and performance of transmission lines, short, medium line and their model representations, nominality and nominal pi methods, and the ABCD constants for the symmetrical and asymmetrical networks, and the mathematical calculations to estimate the regulation and efficiency of all types of lines, and some problems on short and medium transmission lines, and nominality and nominal pi and ABCD constant. Okay, these all points are discussed in this chapter. And next, coming to the introduction of the transmission lines. First of all, we know that the transmission line is nothing but a conductor and having the throughout the length having uniform cross-sectional area, and it transmits a wave in the form of it transmits the waves of voltage and current. Okay, a transmission line is the definition for the transmission line is used for the transmission of electrical power from one generating station to the various distribution units or various substations also. Okay, it transmits wave of voltage and current from one end to the another. And the transmission line is made up of conductor having and the transmission lines is made up of a conductor having a uniform cross section along the line. And here the air acts as an insulating or dielectric medium between the conductors. Okay. Here, see here, this is the transmission line figure, and for the transmission lines, basing upon the towers, that can be is a short length, medium, or long transmission length can be decided. And here, this is nothing but this voice is nothing but a conductor. Okay, in this traveling of waves in the form of voltage and current, and here the air is acts as an insulating or dielectric medium between the conductors, and it consists of one or more conductors suspended by a towers or poles. Since most of the insulation is provided by air, overhead power lines are generally the lowest cost method for the power transmission for large quantities of electrical energy. Okay, and these are the main points we discussed in the first unit also. Depending upon the first unit, based on some points we can use in the second chapter for the calculation of the short and medium length transmission lines. Okay, first of all, what are the points mainly discussed in the first unit is mainly the three transmission line parameters: resistance, inductance, and capacitance. Okay, in this the transmission line always has a series resistance and series inductive reactance and shunt capacitive reactance. Okay, here a transmission line always has a series resistance, series inductive reactance, and shunt capacitance. Okay, and here the resistance is dependent upon the material from which the conductor is made. Is nothing but the resistance value depends on the type of conductor and area of the cross section of the conductor and the length of the conductor also. Okay, here the resistance mainly dependent on the why, because you stressing that point. Here resistance value is an important for the power loss. Okay, in the transmission lines, the resistance is dependent on the material from which the conductor is made and the area of the cross section and length of the conductor. Okay, and the inductance is formed as a conductor is surrounded by the magnetic lines of force, and the capacitance is the line is formed as the conductor is carrying current, acts as a capacitor with the earth, which is always at lower potential than the conductor, and the air between them forms a dielectric medium. These all points are discussed in the first chapter. Okay, why? Because here I am discussing the performance of transmission line mainly dependent on three line constants. For instance, the voltage drop in the line depends upon the values of the above three line constants. Okay, depending upon the three line values, we can calculate the efficiency and voltage regulations also. Okay, here once again I will repeat you. The resistance is in a form is dependent on the type of material used in the conductor and the area of cross section and length of the conductor, and the inductance is formed as the conductor and surrounding by the magnetic lines of force. The current flowing through the conductor, it experiences magnetic lines of force around the conductor. Okay, at the outer side of the diameter of the outer side of the conductor and inner side of the conductor also. Okay, and the capacitance is also formed as the conductor is carrying current, it acts as a capacitor. Okay, and here mainly the power loss. The main point is the resistance of the transmission line conductors is the most important cause of power loss in the line. By, by that using we determine the transmission efficiency. Okay. Coming to the classification of the transmission lines, the main classification of transmission lines are two types. The first one is overhead transmission line, and the second one is underground cables. This is underground cables, underground transmission. Okay, here mainly we use in that India overhead transmission lines. So many countries also overhead transmission lines are there. Okay, for the underground cables, most probably in Chennai, the underground transmission lines are occurred. Okay, these underground cables we already discussed in the power systems 1 subject. Okay, in the power systems 1 subject, what's the relation between the overhead transmission lines and underground transmission lines, comparisons and underground cables. Okay, these all topics are covered in the power systems 1. Okay, here we only discuss about the in the overhead transmission lines, types of overhead transmission lines. Okay, in this chapter we discuss only the short transmission line and medium transmission line. And for the long transmission line, we discuss in the next chapter, Unit 3. In the Unit 3, only long transmission lines. Short and medium transmission lines are Unit 2. Okay, in this power systems 2 subject. And here, uh, first one is the in the types of overhead transmission lines. These are three types. First one is the short transmission line, and second one is the medium transmission lines, and the third one is the long transmission lines. Depending upon the distances and voltage ranges, it can be divided. Okay. Next, the short transmission lines, depending upon the distance, that is nothing but up to 50 kilometers or nearly 80. Okay, so 10 or more kilometers distance is not problem. Okay, in some textbooks 50 is there, in some textbooks 60, and in some textbooks 80 is there, but no problem at all. Nearly 50 to 80. Okay, there's no problem at all. Some 10 to 20 kilometers range is no problem. Okay, and for the medium transmission lines, up to 10 to 80 kilometers to the 150 kilometers. Okay, the range between the distances is up to the 150 kilometers. Okay, up to 150 kilometers, the transmission line is called the medium transmission lines. And for the 200 kilometers range, the transmission lines are long transmission lines. The range between the transmission lines, depending upon the distances, are zero to zero is not there, but something up up to 50 kilometers or 80 kilometers, that transmission lines are called short transmission lines. In that short transmission lines, having the voltage is less than 20 kV. Okay, the voltage range, the limit of voltage is traveling in the transmission lines is up to the 20 kilovolts. The transmission lines are called the short transmission lines. Okay, and the range of the 20 kilovolts above or 100 kilovolts below, the range is called the medium transmission lines. In the medium transmission lines, the carrying voltage is greater than 20 and less than 100. Okay, the range of, for example, 30 kilovolts range is traveling in the transmission lines. The transmission is called the medium transmission lines. And 11 kV is transmitted in the transmission lines. The transmission lines are called the short transmission lines. And greater than 100 kilovolts. The transmission lines are called the long transmission line. 132 kV is transmitted from the transmission line. The transmission lines are called the long transmission lines. Okay. Up to 11 kV, these are 11 kV, only for the 11 kV that can be traveled in the short transmission lines. And 3366. Okay, that range will be in the transmitted in the cables is nothing but the transmission lines. Okay, these are the medium transmission lines and above 100, 132 kV. Okay, and that range of the voltage traveling in the conductor is nothing but the long transmission lines. Okay, depending upon the distances and the voltage ranges, the mainly three types. First one is the short transmission line. The distance is up to 50 to 80 kilometers. Okay, and having the voltage is less than 20 kilovolts. Okay, and the medium, for the medium transmission lines, the range of the distances traveling is to 80 kilometers or up to 150 kilometers, up to 150 kilometers, and the voltage having the less than greater than 20 kV, less than 100 kV. Okay, that is nothing but the medium transmission lines. And more than 150 kilometers to the 100 kilometers, um, the transmission lines are called the long transmission lines. They having the voltage greater than 100 kilovolts. Okay, and this towers shows the short transmission lines. Okay, here that depending upon the towers, we can estimate that that is the short transmission lines or that is the medium transmission lines. It's the long transmission lines. Okay, for the long transmission lines, they're having some insulators. We see outside in the road, okay, some discs are provided. Okay, the disc is nothing but the insulators. Each disc having 11 kV. Okay, then range is 11 kV. For 66 kV voltage transmission lines, we use 5 discs only. Okay, that is nothing but the 66 kV line. Okay, here that line is called the medium transmission line. Okay, simple towers. Okay, in household purposes, we draw the power from the lines. Okay, here these lines are called short transmission lines. Okay, they have the voltage less than 20 kV and the length of the line up to the 80 kilometers or 50 to 80. Okay, no problem at all. And here one more point is there, and that is the capacitance effect or small or negligible. Okay, for the short transmission lines, the capacitance effect can be neglected. Why? Because in the short transmission lines, the voltage range is below 20 kV. So for below 20 kV, the voltage is very very small. Okay, so in this way, because we doesn't consider the capacitance. Okay, and next one is the medium transmission lines. So this tower shows the medium transmission lines. And here the line voltage is moderately high, is nothing but greater than 20 kV but less than 100 kV. The range between the 20 kV to 100 kV, the transmission lines are the medium transmission lines. And the length of lines is about 80 kilometers to the 150 kilometers. Okay, 80 kilometers to 150 kilometers. That voltage range is nothing but the medium transmission lines. Okay, and the length of the, sorry, and the length are also 80 kilometers to the 150 kilometers. And here the capacitance is present in the medium transmission lines. The effect of capacitance property is considered in the medium transmission lines. In the short transmission lines, they did not consider the capacitance effect. Okay. And for the long transmission lines, okay, this tower shows the long transmission lines. Okay, here the line voltage is here the line voltage is very high, that is nothing but greater than 100 kV. And here, okay, and for the long transmission line, the voltage range is very high, that is nothing but above 100 kV. Okay, that transmission is called the long transmission lines, and the length of the transmission lines is more than 150 or 200 kilometers. The transmission lines are called the long transmission lines, and the line constant are considered uniformly distributed over the whole length of the line. Okay, in the long transmission lines we discussed in the third unit. Okay, and the next topic is advantages of the overhead transmission lines. Okay, the main advantages of the overhead transmission lines are quicker to fix whenever fault develops. Okay, the next one, cheaper to install and maintain than underground cables. Compared to the underground cables, the installation is very easy in the overhead transmission lines. And here, two more advantages are there, and they having large transmission capacity and having the good cooling conditions. Okay, compared to the underground cables, the installation and maintenance is very cheaper and nothing affect by the cost. Okay, and next one, the disadvantages of the overhead transmission lines. Here, okay, here some disadvantages are there in the overhead transmission lines. That are the difficulty to be erected in the area where the network is complex and concentrated. And next one, not very safe to be erected in densely populated area of the city. And the next one is affected by the environmental conditions such as temperatures, wind, rain, etc. Snow is also there. For the snow burning on the cables, okay, that can be affected to the transmission, and influenced by the thunders and lightnings also. Okay, these are the main disadvantages of the overhead transmission lines, and these are the advantages of the overhead transmission lines. Okay, and the next one is the performance of the transmission lines. While going to the performance of transmission lines, we only note the main 2 points, that is nothing but voltage regulation and while studying the performance of transmission lines, mainly note the 2 points. The first one is the voltage regulation and second one is the transmission efficiency. Okay. First of all, voltage regulation. Voltage regulation means when a transmission line is carrying current, there is a voltage drop in the line due to resistance and reactance of the line. So the drop occurs due to the effect of resistance and reactance of the line, and that results that the receiving end, the voltage will be lesser as compared to the sending end voltage. Okay, losses are occurred in the transmission lines. The transmission power, the voltage can be reduced. Okay, for the sending end voltage, Vs for example 220 kilovolts, and at the receiving end voltage is nothing but 210 kV. Okay, so the 10 volts is nothing but the drop of the voltage. Okay, that drop can be occurred because of the effects of the resistance and reactance of the transmission lines. Okay, the voltage drop is nothing but Vs minus Vr. The sending end voltage minus receiving end voltage is nothing but the voltage drop in the transmission line. That can be expressed as the percentage of receiving end voltage, that is nothing but Vr. Okay, the expressed voltage Vs minus Vr in the line is expressed as a percentage of receiving end voltage. Vr is called the voltage regulation. Okay, the percentage of voltage regulation is equal to the sending end voltage minus receiving end voltage by receiving end voltage into 100 is the formula for the voltage regulation. Sending end voltage minus receiving end voltage, nothing but it is the voltage drop. Voltage drop by receiving end voltage into 100 is the percentage of regulation. And there's a here the increase in the load current, okay, increase in the load current should make a very little difference in the receiving end voltage. Okay, load current increases affect the that can be affected in the voltage. Okay, and next point is the transmission efficiency. Efficiency can be find out the receiving end power to the sending end power. Okay, the ratio of the receiving end power to the sending end power. Okay, here the power obtained at the receiving end of transmission line is generally less than the sending end power. We know already. Okay, the power obtained at the receiving end of the transmission line, that's nothing but the PR at the receiving end power, is less than the sending end power. Okay, why? Because due to the losses of the transmission lines. From the losses, due to the losses in the transmission line resistance, okay, mainly on the resistance focus. Why? Because resistance dependent on the resistance value dependent on the temperature. Okay, if they vary the temperatures, that can be vary the resistance also. Okay, that can be affected the transmission lines. Okay, the power obtained at the receiving end of transmission lines is the receiving end power. Okay, the receiving end power to the sending end power, the ratio representation of receiving end power to the sending end is called the transmission efficiency. So the efficiency of transmission equal to receiving end power by sending end power into 100. So receiving end power, the power formula can be VR IR into cos phi R. VR is the receiving end voltage and IR is the receiving end current, and cos phi r is the power factor at the receiving end. The angle between the VR IR is called the cos phi r. Okay, so that's the power factor. Okay, and Vs Is into cos phi s for the sending end voltage. For the sending end voltage, Vs Is into cos phi s. For the receiving end, VR IR into cos phi r into 100. Okay, for the sending end power can also read it as the receiving end power plus losses. Okay, why? Because for the sending end voltage is the total amount and drop occurred in the transmission line. At the receiving end, we can receive some power. Okay. So the drops and the receiving end power is the combination is called the sending end power. So VR, IR, cos phi R plus losses is nothing but the sending end power. So here we know that VR, IR, cos phi R as the receiving end voltage, current and power factor, and Vs, Is, cos phi S are the sending end voltage, current and power factor. Okay. These two terms are mainly important in the performance of transmission lines, because in the performance of short and medium transmission lines, in the finally we can calculate the voltage regulation and transmission efficiency. Firstly, we find out the voltage, sending end voltage and receiving end voltage. The relation between the Vs and Vr can substitute. We can get the value of the voltage regulation. Okay. First of all, we discuss about the main topic, heart of the topic of the second unit, the performance of single phase transmission lines. Okay. In this single phase transmission line, we already discussed the capacitance of effect is negligible here. Okay. The capacitance of short transmission lines is negligible and usually not considered. Okay. Therefore, only here in the presence of short transmission lines are resistance and inductance only. Okay. In one more point is that here in the line resistance and inductance are shown as the lumped parameters only. Or these are the lumped parameters. Okay, these are varying with the temperature. Okay, instead of distributed, the main important topic, the parameters used here are the lumped parameters only. and the short transmission lines circuit diagram and vector representation are seen here. Okay, this is the circuit diagram for the short transmission lines representation. For the calculation, we can draw the circuit diagram and vector diagram also. This is the vector representation and this is the circuit diagram. In that circuit diagram, uh, only resistance and inductance are there. The capacitance effect is neglected. Okay, here the calculation of the short transmission lines by using three methods. Okay, in this one is the normal method, and the calculation also done by two methods by using complex notations. And here in this vector diagram we reference taking as the current. Okay, and we take as the reference of VR, and we are also taking the reference of vector. Okay, and by varying by using the reference vary the vector diagrams. Okay, we can I draw only this diagram only is not correct. Okay, and here is the representation, and here Vs is the sending end voltage, and I is the traveling in the transmission line current, and here Is is also represented. So sorry, in the current is in the throughout the transmission line I is the same. Okay, and at the load we are at the receiving end, we are, that is nothing but receiving end voltage. Okay, here I is taken as the reference current. Okay, and VR is the receiving end voltage. Okay, and IR is nothing but the resistance drop. This resistance value is in phase with the current, so that can be drawn as the same as the direction of the current I. And the IXL means reactance drop, that can be not in phase with the current, that can be leads the by 90 degrees angle. So that can be particularly drawn opposite to the IXL, the reverse direction. Okay, this is the same direction of IR, and this is the IXL. Okay, and Vs is the sending end voltage. So okay, Vs is the sending end voltage, and Vr is the receiving end voltage. That drop can be represented as IR is in phase with I. So IXL is reached by 90 degrees. Okay, this is the vector diagram representation, and here also the angle made with the VR with the current I is phi r at an angle, and Vs with the current is phi s an angle. Okay, here by using the vector diagram we can write down some equations. Okay, that equations can be discussed in the next class. Okay, here once again I tell that the parameters: I is the load current, and R is the loop resistance, that is nothing but resistance of both conductors. Okay, XL is the loop reactance, and VR is the receiving end voltage, and cos phi r is the receiving end power factor, and Vs is the sending end voltage, and cos phi s is the sending end power factor. Okay, these terms are discussed here. IR, okay, phi r with an angle between VR into VR and I, and phi s is an angle between Vs and I. Okay, and the calculations are calculated in the next class. Okay, and one more point is there here. Here that if the current increases, okay, the current is inversely proportional to the power factor. Okay, cos phi r. Here the current increases, so the power factor is decreased. Okay, the power factor can be decreased here, and the efficiency also decreased. Okay, in this we maintain the current at a certain level. Okay, for example, increase the current value at the receiving end. Okay, the receiving end power equal to, we know the formula, receiving end power equal to VR IR into cos phi r. If IR increases, then cos pi r decreases. Okay, it's nothing but cos pi r is nothing but the power factor. Okay, the power factor decreases. The power factor is directly proportional to the efficiency. So the efficiency value also decreases. Okay, so maintain the uh, current at a certain level. Okay, okay.